The interrelations of food and nutrition has been a long-running conversation. The Indian food system and foodways especially are constructed largely on the notions of health and well-being. It does not just prescribe what kind of food is good for health, but also at what time and in what order certain foods should be eaten. These ideas define the eating habits of different communities. In contemporary times, millets have gained in popularity as a healthy alternative to rice. In complex negotiations with decolonization and asserting a robust national identity, millets are offered as an alternative to Western medicine. The various kinds of millets, pearl millet, sorghum, finger millet, foxtail millet, small millet, barnyard millet, kodo millet, and more, are all reported to help and heal various different bodily ailments. Ragi is a popular baby food. Snack items like biscuits, khakra, and bhel are all made supposedly healthier by the introduction of millets. There has been a concentrated effort by the Government of India to promote millets as they are beneficial both for the production and consumption. Millets are easier to cultivate and less water intensive than rice. As millets became a trend in the market, they are consumed popularly in the form of packaged foods like khakra or biscuits, or ready-to-eat mixes like those for ragi idli or ragi mudde. But in this video, we'll see the life cycles of millets like Jowar, Bajra, and Ragi, and how they are consumed at different stages of cultivation. Millets have long been a part of many agricultural ecologies in Eurasia and Africa, especially in the more arid and subtropical regions. They are often called the lazy farmer's crop, and for a good reason. One merely needs to go to the field to broadcast the seeds and return after a few months to harvest the grain, with little maintenance needed in between. Their easy adaptability to a variety of soil types, including low fertility soil and minimal input requirements, make them essential to the food and nutritional security of populations in disadvantaged geographical regions. Millet crops grow quickly. Compared to the 100 to 140 day life cycle of fine cereals, some millets need only 60 to 75 days. Most millets are Kharif season crops grown during May-June and coming to maturity around September-October. However, they also give good yields during the Rabi and summer season. Because they provide assured yield even in drought-like conditions, they are also known as famine crops. Here we see a sorghum field in its seed set stage in the Shinkheda Tehsil of Maharashtra. With maximum acreage in Maharashtra and Karnataka, it is a valuable crop in the receding moisture conditions of the Rabi season. The plant has a strong stem and grows to a height of 2 to 8 feet. Each mature plant bears a flowering cluster that can contain up to 3,000 kernels of jowar. The stem of certain varieties is sweet, like sugarcane, and is being explored for its use in bioethanol production. Now let's take a look at the red amaranth field in Bannerghatta district of Gujarat. Popularly known as the Rajgira or Ramdana in India, amaranth is a low-maintenance crop that can grow in any season and can be harvested in under a month. It is consumed both as a vegetable as well as a grain. Rajgira flour is used to make rotis to be consumed as alternatives to wheat or rice while fasting. And finally, we move to the lush Bajra fields in Bannerghatta. Bajra or pearl millet is the most widely cultivated cereal after rice and wheat in India. The plant can grow up to 15 feet in height. Seeds have already set in the dense spike-like panicles of the crop, and the kernels we shall find upon harvest can vary from white to pale yellow to even slate blue in color. Like most millets, it is a dual-purpose crop. As a cereal, it is used for food, while the stover after harvest is a nutritive fodder for cattle. The tender sorghum grains known as hurda or ponk are a popular winter delicacy in Maharashtra and Gujarat. They are the fresh tiny green jowar grains that are harvested during a brief period in winter. They are crunchy and tender and juicy and are either roasted or cooked with some butter. Here we have some fresh hurda sourced from Ahmednagar that is being cooked in butter with the addition of some salt and pepper. There are parties and picnics organized in Maharashtra and Gujarat to celebrate the eating of this young edible seed. At one point in time, these hurda parties were really popular amongst the political leaders coming to Nagpur for the Winter Assembly of Maharashtra's state legislature. A former Chief Minister of Maharashtra apparently used these hurda parties to gain diplomatic benefits. The hurda would be roasted in a campfire or on cow dung cakes. It would be served along with other complementaries like curds, buttermilk, bengan bharta, peanut chutneys, and bhakri. Ragi Kana is a weekly sante, a fair or market that happens in Bangalore every Sunday in Gotikere. It is a cultural hub and the market tries to bring rural and handmade items to the city. Here, a lot of homemade food products are sold. Pickles, spice mixes, sweets, fryings. The millet products sold in this market come from various farms in and around Bangalore. It is a space for farmers to sell their produce directly, both as raw grains and as finished food products. Ragi Kana was started 7 years ago. It is not a formal organization, but is the brainchild of a few passionate people, mainly run by volunteers. The name Ragi Kana is interestingly because Kana can mean two things in Kannada. It can mean grain, like the various millet grains that are sold in Ragi Kana. It can also mean field, like the erstwhile Ragi field where Ragi Kana is currently held every week.
There was a special lunch menu that included sweet pongal, kadlekai, sweet potato, kumblekkai palya, khara pongal, hapla and hittebele saru.
The month of Ashad is reserved for harvesting. In olden days, farmers used to harvest with sickles and after harvesting, they dry it in the sun for 4 days because the produce would contain toxins. Then the produce would be trampled and crushed using hammers so that the grains get separated and the wind would help remove the husk. During the harvest season, other communities would lend their labor to the farmers. In this system of barter, no money was exchanged. Instead, they would gather after the harvest was completed and receive a small part of the produce as payment for their services. Measurement wasn't done in kilos in those days. There would instead be a jury who would use the share, the measuring jar, to divide the harvest. Sometimes they also did contact farming and would need to divide the produce after harvest. That was the jury's job as well. He would put one share here, another measure of grains there, and so on.
One of the ways in which the grain forms of millets are consumed is as Bajra and Jowar puffs. However, flour is most popular way that millets are consumed. Most millets dishes are made of flour. The grains are ground in mills to make the flour. At times, people go to mills instead of buying readily available flour because they want to make their own combination of multigrain atta. Millets are becoming increasingly available in markets. However, there are a variety of ways in which millets can be consumed, which may not always be commercially available. In this video, we want to throw light on the different stages of millets plant's life cycle and how millets can be consumed across seasons in varied forms. The next video will focus on a specific recipe using finger millet flour called Ragi Kili.